Hey gang, today I want to show you a super simple way of making your guitar playing sound a little bit outside or just a little bit out of the ordinary using some really simple chromatic ideas. We're going to do it over a funky blues in A. Let me show you what it is. The idea is super simple and you can use it in any position, okay? So here's the idea. We're going to play a blues in A. So chances are you already know the minor pentatonic blues box shape. So I'm going to just play that for you just in case you don't know. Starting on the 5th fret, right? And then we come back down. Now here's the really super simple idea. You can fill in any one of those notes that you want, any one, with chromatic ideas. So instead of playing this, we can play, and instead of playing this, we can play, and instead of playing this, we can play. You get it. And we can also play on adjacent strings like. It's going to make it sound a little bit outside or something that's not a little bit right. And you can't overdo this technique. But the key to it is landing on a chord tone when you get to the front of a chord. So I'll show you what I mean. Over the A, we're going to play an A7, but let's just consider the roots, the 1, 3, and 5. The 1 is an A, the 3 is a C sharp, and the 5 is an E. Now we can find those all over the fretboard if we want. Those are all the A's and so forth. But let's just confine ourselves to this position. This works in any position at all, and I'll demo that for you. But let me show you what I mean. All we have to do, we can use chromatic lines like however we want, as long as we end up on chord tones at the right place. So for example, instead of playing something like this, I could play. And it doesn't matter, it's just the roots to get there, right? So all I did was play all the chromatic notes. Right? That's all I did. And you don't have to confine yourselves to playing linearly either. We could play. That would work just as well. Now I'm just making these up on the fly. So I'll show you what I mean by playing it over a funky blues. Here we go. I'll play some normal blues lines and then put in a couple of chromatic ones. I'll stick to this position this time. All right, so that's the idea. Not exactly brilliant, but the idea, and I was trying to keep myself all in this one position, the idea is to always land on a chord tone. It doesn't matter whether it's the 1 chord or the 4 chord or the 5 chord. And you could see I was ending up on chord tones for the D and for the E as well. But for that A, maybe we can target this note right here every time. I'm going to target the A on the 4th string, 7th fret. I'll target that for every chromatic line. I'll show you what I mean. One more time. Okay, that's really tough to confine yourself to one, but you could see that even that was kind of making sense. You also, I think, get the sense that you can't use this all the time. If you use this all the time, it's going to sound a little bit robotic and artificial, I think. So use it sparingly, but you can use it anywhere you want. Any shape works this way if you confine yourself to that shape. So for example, the pentatonic shape right up here for A might be this. Okay, so it's that. Let me play it. Right? And I can fill in any chromatics that I want, noting that here are the chord tones for A, right? And there's a couple more, right? Here is one. Those are the chord tones for A. So anything I do in A is going to get me there. That's a good line. That's landing on the third of A. Here's another one. That's landing on the A. But notice, those sorts of lines really work pretty well, and you can use those tensions in the chromatic parts of it to get that. So, kind of cool. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this one. Experiment for your own using any sort of chord progression you want. The funky ones work pretty well, but rock ones work pretty well, blues ones work pretty well too. Experiment with it. It's not that hard because you already know the pattern. Just add the fills. Add the filling to it, which is the chromatic notes. Okay, until next time, we'll see you around. See you on down the road, I mean.